that are there. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Chairman Thompson and committee, for allowing me to speak today in support of AB 343. My name is Robert Barsel. I am 13 years old. When I was 5, my dad died. I can remember how hard it was knowing that I would never see him again. When I went back to school, my teachers told me that I could come in from recess if I needed time to be alone, but beyond that, I felt very little support. I was no longer fun, but rather sad, withdrawn, and sometimes angry. Kids began to bully me. I told my mom and she informed the school. Nothing was done. Teachers and administrators just simply didn't know how to help me. That experience made me very distrusting of teachers and affected my social relationships with my peers for years. I am lucky that my mom sent me to a peer support group, and I eventually learned how to cope with my loss. I attended that group for 3 years and can attest to how healing it is to have someone who makes you feel supported and understood. That service was free, but the teachers did not suggest that I go there. How difficult would it be to train teachers as to what services are in their communities to support kids like me? I now volunteer at that support group, and I've learned through training some basic, non-judgmental questions to ask children who are coping with loss so they can feel comfortable to share their feelings with me. This way of speaking to a child is not difficult to learn. I have also learned what normal responses to loss are and how to identify kids who are struggling outside of the normal realm of grief. I was 12 when I took the 8-hour training to be able to volunteer with grieving children, and I'm making a difference in their lives just by knowing how to speak to them. The recent suicides of friends of the Parkland shooting victims is a perfect example of how devastating trauma can be on a developing child and how it affects them long term. Passage of AB 343 will provide teachers the training they need in order to step in to help a student so that more senseless and preventable deaths do not occur. We simply cannot expect guidance counselors who have responsibility for an average of 500 students to be able to identify and support the 1 in 4 students who are currently suffering in our classrooms. Passing AB 343 would not only educate teachers on what to look for in students who are struggling, but how to speak to them.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Marcel. Thank you for sharing. We're at our 2 minutes.